Hey, this is Paul with Paul Can't Stop. Hey, I don't ever really rehearse anything, so things happen in my life, and I'm just like, all right, record. Um, this is useful, not just to myself but to others. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I said the other day about um, being able to get to the point where I was like, okay, I don't need to drink to deal with my trauma. I don't crave to drink to deal with my trauma, and I know that I could and still not turn into binge drinking again, but that most people that have had these substance abuse problems can't touch the substance that they were addicted to because they'll just turn right back to it. And I want to talk about why, because a friend of mine, she's had more trauma in the past few years than most people in their lifetimes would have gone through, and we were talking about dealing with trauma and the forms of therapy that she's in now, and how amazing it is, but what a tough process it is to get through it. And I was explaining about what I've learned, and I've done all sorts of therapy. I've done psychotherapy courses. I've done all this other shit too, but I've said before, and I won't fully explain this probably for many months down the road possibly, but the way I got through things was doing it my way, completely isolating myself basically away from everyone, getting beyond spiritual with myself, and just putting myself through absolute hell, dealing with my guilt, dealing with my grief, dealing with my past trauma, the current trauma, and I don't sugarcoat it. I don't think that that a lot of people want to do that because they want the end result without putting in the work. Everybody wants to be healed. They want this healed version of themselves, or they want to put this image out there that they're this healed person and they're ready to heal others and help others, but they haven't done the work themselves to heal themselves in order to be able to help others. So that's a hell of a process, and that's not an overnight process. And the reason I said about the drinking is I do believe that with drinking and most any other substances, not that they're not addictive, but after you pass that point of the withdrawals and all that, you pass the point of your body being dependent on something to feel okay, then it's a whole nother issue to me. It's a mindset. It's you have to do the inner work. You have to do the outer work physically to keep the inner work going and get past that point. And I truly believe that once you get past that point, if you were drinking or drugging to a point that you were trying to numb yourself and get out of reality and pass out or forget things, once you get rid of those things, those trauma, those trauma events, so what the hell would you want to drink like that or drug like that again? You don't need that feeling, because you're going to get that euphoric feeling just living your fucking life, just being around people that you love and that you have fun with, and yeah, your life's going to change, your circle of people is going to change, your outlook on life's going to change, and usually it doesn't develop a person that isn't insanely strong. Let me rephrase that. Usually if you've gone through some shit and you can heal through it, and you're already a strong person, even a little bit, it's going to quadruple, maybe even 100 times that strength. And then you're going to be able to spread that strength to every fucking person around you. And it's insane. But basically, you got to get through that first. You got to get through the work. You got to put in the work. And during that process, no matter what you're using, you can't have the mentality, I'll have a little bit. I'll while I'm going through this, I can have a few drinks. I can, go ahead and take a few of these pills or snort a couple of these lines or do whatever right in the middle of your fucking healing process of working through all this trauma. Because your brain then is like, oh shit, all right, this is that feeling again. Okay, this is awesome. And you just threw the whole fucking process off. So you're sitting here, you're putting in all this work for months, and then all of a sudden you go out and get shit-faced, right? Okay, that's a fuck up, but you can, you're delaying the process, but you can fix that. You can be like, okay, I messed up, I can't turn back to this. But if you continue to keep doing these things, you're never going to get to the point to be like, okay, I worked through this on my own without the aid of any chemicals in my body that helped me work through it other than just pure work. Mentally, physically. It's draining, it sucks, it's rigorous. But the end result is that you get through all this shit and you don't need those chemicals. You don't need these fucking pills that the doctors are giving everybody for fucking anxiety and for depression and for all this stuff. You might need them as a temporary crutch through the first stages of it. Yes. But the fact that they want to keep everyone on these things like they tried to do to me, it fucked my whole system up. Fucked my whole system up. And then as soon as I cut all that shit out, things changed drastically. And it was hard. It was hard. But you get through it, it'll be worth it. The light at the end of the tunnel is so worth it. Like, everyone gives up too easy. I was almost everybody. And I am so fucking thankful that I didn't. But you got to put in the work. And you can't use these crutches. I did it in the past, and I'm only speaking from experience. I used to get frustrated and say, what the hell is this? I'm not getting any better. Things still suck. I'm still fucking broke. I was about to lose my fucking house for the third time. Living off of fucking VA compensation of $2,000 a month. Going through a divorce. Having to sell everything that I owned, every piece of equipment, every gun that I owned, everything I had to sell just to freaking keep a roof over my head and to pay all my damn lawyer fees and all this other crap. And it was worth it. In the end, it was all worth it because it put me through the biggest traumatic event of my life. Going through all that, but on the other end of it, I became the strongest version of myself ever. And so in a half hour, 45-minute conversation this morning, I feel like someone else reached a level of clarity that I'm trying to get across to people. So I'm going to figure out how to get this to reach more people so I can get more in depth in this. But I just wanted to share that. So if you're going through this and you've got these, and they call them slips or something, to me it's all garbage. Just, you can't do it while you're going through the therapy process. However you're doing the therapy, how you're working through all this shit, you can't do these slips. If you've got that much trauma can't handle those slips, because those slips set you right back into that old mindset. And now you're starting from zero again. You're starting from square one. And you need to get through the process of the work to where you actually feel like, okay, like, it's really not about, like, any amount of money that I can make, any amount of this. It's about inner peace. You got to reach a point where you don't give a shit what anybody else thinks, where you truly want to be helping others and help yourself. And it's not about your image and all this and all this other nonsense. Like, you have to get to a point where you want to truly fucking see the difference in others and surround yourself with those people. And the people that don't understand it aren't going to understand it. You don't got to hate on them. Just understand that most people that don't want to understand it aren't going to. Like, if they're not willing to put in the work or try to understand it, maybe they don't have the amount of trauma you have. Maybe they just are already the happiest person in the world. They don't need your help. They don't need it. Whatever. Then, that's fine. But there's many people that do. And so if you're one of those people and you can't navigate it on your own, I'm willing to help. And I've had many people reach out to me, and I feel I've got through to a handful of them. Some of them very close to me, and both men and women. I love to see people proud of themselves, and I love to be proud of people too. So I hope this helps. I'm gonna work on more, but have a good day.